dreams. He's the open door. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. When will we realize that we must give our lives for people need the People need the
Okay, everybody, this is Pastor Will and
Eva.
and we are here with the world famous Will and
Jimmy Show.
we just wanted you to know that Jimmy is here. We're just extremely busy with so many different events taking place and things going on, and he's so very, very busy, but he's on the job and just covered up with work.
Yes.
So that's how it is at Shades of Grace. So Jimmy has graciously asked me to go ahead and open the Will and Jimmy Show and invite a couple of our friends from the congregation to talk to me a little bit today. So Miss Eva is wearing a t-shirt that says Mondays should be optional.
Should be.
Should be, but they're not, are they?
No.
And by the way, we're actually recording this on Monday, to be honest. And we're just trying to get ahead of the game. We have a funeral service on Tuesday for one of our longtime faithful members, Mikey's husband, Bob. And so we're going to be tied up all day on Tuesday doing that service and visitation. And I also have another service to speak at 5 o'clock for a bereaved family. So my Tuesdays are totally busy. So we're doing it on Monday today.
Every day's busy.
Every day's busy.
Every day's busy here.
Yeah. So Eva, let everybody know. Just have you been on the Will and Jimmy Show before?
I have, once
You were
before.
on here once before.
I was.
I thought you had.
I had, yeah.
Okay.
Was
well.
fun.
Okay. Well, go ahead. And again, this is Pastor Will and
Eva.
Eva. So go ahead, Eva, and let the people know what you would like for them to know, how things are going in life.
Oh, it's going great. Since I got back down here and started volunteering some. Can't beat the people, can't beat the service that everyone here provides for all the people, not just the homeless people, everybody in the community. This is a place to come.
Okay. And what is your favorite part about working and worshiping at Shades of Grace? Because you do both.
I do both.
I mean, when the doors are open, you're here, and sometimes when the doors are not open,
That's exactly
you're
right.
here. Yeah, I think you said you come in and just find
I do.
your peace and
I
solitude.
do. This is a place to come for
Yes.
food, clothing, peace of mind, great worship, great people.
Yes.
I do. I come down here a lot just to sit and look around. It's peaceful here.
Right.
Everyone out there needs to come down here for at least one service. If
Right.
you come for one service, you'll come back.
Well, I tell you, you've brought quite a few people here.
I have.
And I know you've got one or two friends that have been really
Oh.
faithful, and they seem like they're really having a good time.
They love it. Once you come, you're here to
Yeah,
stay.
okay.
You come here, your family, you're a member
That's right.
already. When I first started coming back down here, I asked Pastor Will, I said, I'd like to become a member. He said, once you come in the doors, you're a member.
That's right. Yeah, we're unique as far as United Methodist churches go. We are a missional congregation, and due to the nature of the work that we do, we're not like a traditional church,
No,
are we?
no, definitely not.
And I mean, we are on Saturday mornings for about an
Right.
hour, and then the rest of the time it's really missional. I mean, we're working with the folks of the street and all kinds of situations.
Daily.
So it's really kind of a complicated congregation,
We're
really.
here for all reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
All reasons.
We're trying to meet the little needs that maybe aren't being met in other ways.
Right, right. You need to watch one of the programs, one of the services on Facebook and
Right,
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
need to watch one of those, see what great services that we have down here and what we try and
Yeah.
do for everyone.
And actually, Eva, you used to come here a lot
did.
before the pandemic hit.
Right, I
And can't you see lots of changes
Oh,
now
man.
since then? But really, aren't they for the better?
Oh, for definitely.
Yeah,
Pastor Will was my neighbor for a long time when he was pastor at another church.
Yes.
I lived in front of him.
yeah.
Came down when we first opened down here, and I got lazy.
Well,
Then I got sick.
and things changed, and
Yeah.
and then you lost your husband
Lost
just,
my
what,
husband
8 months
8
ago?
months ago.
And so that's been a real difficult
This has been
journey for you.
a life-saving down here. You come down here and everybody is your friend. You do not meet a person here that's not your friend, is a shoulder to lean on, cry on,
Right.
and whatever. You won't meet anybody here that's not like that.
And it's been said often that this place is a place of healing. And it is,
Yes, it
in
is.
so many, many ways.
So many ways. You
Yeah.
just can't imagine.
Exactly.
Everybody here is just great.
Yeah, I was Eva's neighbor for 5 years
At least, yeah.
on Bloomingdale Road. It was exactly 5 years.
Yeah.
And how we met, there's a huge, steep front
Right.
yard of the parsonage, and I would push mow that yard in the
Right.
summertime.
It would.
It would take me at least 3 hours because I pushed the
did.
front, the side, and the back. And they had a riding mower, but I chose to just push it
I'd say
for
it's
my
an
health.
acre, wouldn't you?
Oh, at least. Yeah, I'd say it is.
I would stand up there and watch him, and after a while, I'd take him water over there.
Yeah.
And we would sit and talk, and
She started bringing me water to drink when I mowed, and then the next thing I know, she invited me over to her patio with Jerry, her husband,
Right.
and the neighbors to have a cookout.
Right.
And anytime we had a Christmas or Thanksgiving, you'd say, "Come on down and get you a plate."
most definitely.
She tried to have me come in and eat, and I would say, "I'm too busy, but I'll pick up a plate."
That's right.
And that's kind of
Always.
how it went with that. But it was
Good
just
neighbors.
so good that you
Yeah.
have followed the ministry here
It's a
and
great place.
apart. So, yeah. So, what are some of the major changes that you can remember from pre-pandemic until now
Well, when we first opened in here, we had the meals
inside?
inside. What, 3 meals a day, or
In the very beginning,
We had-
in the
yeah.
very beginning, we served 3 meals a
Right.
day here.
had the when it got cold, of course, you
Yeah.
had the warming.
Overnight warming
And then,
station,
of course, when
yes.
the pandemic hit, we couldn't do that anymore.
Right.
But we still
And
do a lot.
after the years that we did that in the beginning, when the pandemic came, it gave us a reason to slow down,
Right.
reevaluate, and get our priorities back in place. Because we gotten to the point, I think, that we were spreading ourselves
Too
thin,
thin.
trying to be all things to all people. And the pandemic, thankfully, helped us to reel it in.
You don't realize what all goes on down here. They don't just serve meals and clothes. They help with everything.
Right.
From the time that we open at 8 o'clock in the morning until they close 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, when they can leave, they help with everything.
Right.
It's just not just a church of. It's a church of worship, of course, but
Yeah.
they do so much. Pastor Will and Jimmy, they're busy all the time.
It's like the Church of Action. So it
Amen.
really is. And which we do birth certificates for anybody who
Exactly.
needs them. We have a community mailbox.
Exactly.
We bury the homeless dead who are unclaimed with no one. We serve the food. We give emergency grocery bags.
Exactly.
We
First
have
aid.
showers, hot showers for men and women, a clothing closet.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of our people on the street, if they don't have an address, they don't get
Right.
a check.
That's
Can't
exactly
get mail.
right.
And so
Yeah.
we have lots of people that use this as their home address
Sure.
so they can get help and,
Yeah.
and whatever. A lot of people don't realize that.
Exactly.
That goes on.
Well, I remember Jimmy was telling me a few years ago, someone at the Social Security office called here one day and said, "What kind of scam are y'all running down there? What's
That's
going on?"
amazing.
That's not exactly how they said it.
Yeah, but that's
but
what they meant.
they said there's so many people getting their checks at this one address.
Right.
Explain to us what's going on. And then, of course, we told them what we're doing now. They said, "That's a great idea. We just didn't know what was, if there was
What they
something
did.
under the table going on."
Yeah, we-
But really, this is the address
It
for
is.
many of the folks. And then we also give a lot of money every month
We do.
for people who need
Right.
electric,
Exactly.
water,
Exactly.
and rent.
Exactly.
For the rent, you have to have an eviction notice. But we do help that through KCMC.
Yes.
And we give them a very sizable amount of money every month, and that just kind of helps us out of the equation so we don't have to take applications and answer questions. We just send the folks up to KCMC
We also
and
have
they
a
will
church
handle
in
it.
Nigeria.
That's right, we sure do.
have a
We have
church.
Shades of Grace International in
Right.
Nigeria.
We support it.
Yeah,
Lots and lots of good things goes on here, you know.
just a whole lot goes on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know, if it wasn't for all you good people out there, for everything that you help us with,
Right.
we couldn't do it, you know.
it wouldn't be done.
It wouldn't
It
be
couldn't
done.
be done.
We have to
Right.
be the home seat that we're
Right.
comes through and out. And we're happy to do it.
And you know, most of what happens here, when the money comes in, the money goes out.
Exactly.
And you can follow the money trail and
Right.
pretty well find out
Exactly.
what's happening in almost any situation.
Believe
And
me.
we keep meticulous records,
Right.
and our books are open to anybody who
Anybody
wants to see
that's,
them.
you know.
And you know, one good thing I like about Shades of Grace, we don't even pass an offering plate.
No, that's true.
How many times have you heard me to take up an offering?
Never.
We just
Never,
don't do
never,
it.
never.
We just have an
Yeah.
offering box on the wall and a little basket sitting by
Everything
the
that comes in
altar.
here is from the heart.
Right.
And we know exactly where it goes. There's
Right.
no question about it.
Exactly.
So never ask for any, never ask
So
for, no.
God told us, or we felt like the Spirit was telling us in the beginning, wherever God guides, God provides.
Right.
And so we determined we will never have a bake sale, never sell anything. We give away a lot.
Give away a lot.
Yeah. We don't put a price on anything.
No.
You know, I mentioned that we had the funeral. You're watching this on Wednesday. So yesterday was Tuesday. We had the service for Mikey's husband, Bob. And then I received a call for another funeral
Right,
service
you did.
at 5 o'clock yesterday evening for a family who had no pastor and no congregation.
Right.
And I asked if I would do the service. And the funeral director said they're willing to give you something, although they don't have very much. And I said, no, we never put a price
No, you
on
can't put a
anything
price
like
on
that.
it.
You can't put a
No.
price on it. Freely we receive and freely we give.
Exactly.
And you know, that's one thing that has helped build our ministry,
Exactly.
is that we've gone out and we've ministered to families in times of sickness and death and tragedy. And many times they gravitate this way and
Exactly.
come home.
Right. Exactly. We
Yeah.
also bury the homeless once a
Right.
year. We have a service for the homeless people that have no one to claim
Right.
their bodies.
Exactly.
We bury those people.
And we've
free of
buried about
charge.
150
Right.
over the last few years. Yeah, so, and you told me that you spent a lot of years doing what?
Waitressing.
Waitressing.
Waitressing. Yeah.
And you were working at the,
Western Steer.
how many of you remember that? Some of you may remember her.
Bonanza and Western Steer.
Bonanza
I know.
and Western
Yeah.
Steer.
Oh yeah.
So you were there how many years?
Oh gosh, let's see, I said Bonanza for probably 10, probably at Western Steer, probably, well, from the time they opened till they closed, probably 12 years.
Okay.
Oh, I know everybody.
So
yeah.
you know about everybody in Kingsport,
Well, Bristol.
or they know you? Oh, was it
Bristol,
King,
yeah.
was it
No,
Bristol?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
all
Oh,
right,
Yeah, yeah.
all right.
So, yeah,
Well-
so all my people that I met at Western Steer in those 12 years, come on down.
Yeah, come on.
Come on
We'll
down.
have a reunion.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to
Yeah.
see all my people. I had a lot of
And
good people.
I said, I know that Eva has been in the service industry because she's always doing here at the church, always busy.
Love
And
it.
I noticed today you were making, I saw you cooking all those eggs.
Right.
And then I saw you peeling them, and then
Right.
all of a sudden I realized you were making hard-boiled
Deviled eggs.
deviled eggs
Deviled eggs, yeah.
for the funeral service. We're doing a meal here in conjunction with Bob's service.
Right, I
The
get
weather's
it.
going to be so very cold. Of course, you're getting this on Wednesday, and you know it was cold. But she was helping prepare some
Because Pastor
of
Will had to
that.
fry out the deviled eggs.
Yeah,
He
there we
said they were
go.
good.
I tried them out. It was good. Yeah. I don't feel any more devilish than I did before.
Oh, you're
But
not.
angel food cake and deviled eggs.
That's right.
So I
yeah.
wonder where they got their names.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, Miss Eva, you look cheerful today.
I
You're
am.
wearing pink.
Yeah,
And you had
sure,
no idea
yeah.
that you were going to be
No,
on the camera
no,
today.
I didn't.
Last week, it was kind of funny. It was maybe on Wednesday or Thursday. I was called from Channel 11, and our friend Maddie Kataspati had called. You ever watch Channel 11?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
I
she
watched
had
it.
called and wanted to come and do an interview with me. And then she received a more urgent type call to report for. So she sent a young man named Blake
Yeah.
who came, and did an interview for the Channel 11 news slot a couple of days ago. And I was kind of wearing an old shirt, and I was a little bit grubby, and I said, well, I could have looked a little better had I known you were coming.
God
But
don't
then,
care.
there's a lot of sermons in that.
Exactly.
Because, we can get all dressed up and not go anywhere, or we can just be grubby and
Yes,
go
sir.
anywhere we want to.
Hey, God don't care what you look like.
Well,
Come
we
on-
don't at Shades of Grace.
Come on down, wear whatever that you want
Right.
to, and we'll welcome you.
Right. I told someone, if you ever come to Shades of Grace and wear a suit and tie, you're probably out of place.
Sort of Jerome's view.
Yeah. So you come casual, just
Right.
as you are.
Exactly.
That's how we meet the folks in the street, and that's how we want to be.
Exactly.
So, we're very intentional about that.
Very.
And another thing, as an ordained United Methodist pastor, I do have a beautiful robe. I have a couple of robes, actually, with the beautiful stoles,
Right.
but I never wear them here because, as I told somebody, with many of the people we deal with here on a daily basis and who come in this building, if they see somebody standing here with a robe, guess what they're going to think?
Here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge. Exactly.
Here comes the judge.
Thank you. Yeah, here comes the judge. And so, and I told a few pastors that, and it kind of was an enlightening moment of epiphany that they said, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. But, you can relate to that. I mean, they would
Exactly,
honestly feel like that,
Right.
yeah,
It's not how you look, it's how that you
Right.
act, is what.
yeah, God judges us
Right.
from the
right.
heart.
Yeah, we always say, God's not going to ask me about you. He don't care.
No, that's exactly right.
He's not going to. So.
Right. Well, Miss Eva, I guess your portion of the
Okay.
Will and Jimmy show
Well, I
has
enjoyed
just
it.
about come and gone. But you want to give them a parting word?
Well, I just really love everyone down here, and I know that you come down here, you will love everyone too. So,
Okay, and what do you
come on.
want to invite them to do on Saturday?
I want you to come to service. The music starts at 10.
Yeah?
We have all Landon of the music. You just got to watch it. You
Yeah.
hear it. Watch the from last week. Oh, Saturday was just wonderful. You just
Yeah.
wouldn't believe the service we had.
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, God was here. God was definitely
Yeah.
here, and you felt Him completely. So
Great.
come on down for the service. Great preacher.
Thank
Great
you.
preacher.
Well, I say the
Everything.
music is excellent and the preaching is mediocre. But
Very
anyway,
good.
so you've heard it straight from Miss Eva. You are invited
Most
to come
definitely.
on down on Saturday morning, casual dress.
Exactly.
Music starts 10 o'clock. We always have water, chips, a little
Exactly.
snack if you're
If you're
hungry.
hungry, we got sandwiches.
So come on down and be blessed
Exactly.
in the house of the
You
Lord.
definitely will get a blessing.
Yeah.
Most
All right.
definitely.
Well, I want you all to hold on. Miss Eva's going to step off the stage, but we have another guest coming on the stage. So tell them goodbye, Eva.
Goodbye.
Okay. All right. Okay, Jimmy, just so they know that you're still in the building, you got to say something.
I'm here.
What else?
I don't know. Thank you.
I don't know how he's still laughing and so happy after he's just kind of snowed over with phone calls, paperwork. It's just a lot going on.
It is. But it's going to be a good show, even without me.
Jimmy, we
It's
thank
in
you.
good hands.
We want to thank you all. Everybody give Jimmy a thumbs up because after all, this is the world famous Will and.
Jimmy Show.
That's right.
That's right. Y'all have fun.
All right, we'll do that. So we have another guest here tonight that's a very frequent person in this building whose name is
Becky.
Becky.
Becky Fugit.
Becky Fugit. Now, are you really Rebecca or are you Becky?
Yes.
You're Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Rebecca, okay. So you've been on the Will and Jimmy show before,
I have.
and we've done this so many times I can't remember who has been on and who hasn't.
It's
So-
it's hard to remember that stuff.
It is.
I want to say one more thing before we
Say whatever
about
you wanna
Jimmy,
say.
about
Yeah.
Jimmy. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he stands up under all the
Yeah.
stress and everything that's on him, other than just by the grace of God, because he comes back in a new day
Yeah.
and he's ready to go. But it amazes me how God
Well-
has blessed him with the stamina and
Yeah.
the perseverance to do
Well, it's
what
like he
does.
said, it's a calling. And so when you're called, God gives you the unction to
Yes.
do it.
And I don't think
helps
he
you to
could.
do it.
I don't think he
Yeah,
could do that if
exactly.
he wasn't. So yeah.
Right, so, all right, so that's another word of appreciation for Jimmy. If you all appreciate Jimmy, give him a thumbs up. over there. I know that he'll be editing, this and putting it all together for an upload on Wednesday night. And like we said before, we're here on Monday this week, trying to get ahead of all that we have to do this week.
Yeah.
And time just kind of consumes us, doesn't it?
It does, and we just have to take things one day at a time, and what we did today might not be anything like what we do tomorrow, but it is a busy
Well, there was a
week, and-
first today for you and me, so
Yes.
let the people know. I mean, just out of a
Yeah,
spur of the
spur
moment.
Our sweet friend Reba,
Yes.
Reba Salyers, her husband is
Eddie.
gravely ill in the hospital at Hostin Valley. His name's Eddie. And she called Pastor Will this morning and asked him if he would come and pray for her, that things looked grave and they're going to have some tough decisions to make. So you all keep that family in your prayers. But I got an opportunity to go with Pastor Will to pray with Reba and Eddie, and that was it was a blessing for me to be able to be available to do that. And
Yes.
I thank Pastor Will for letting
Yeah.
me tag along. And Reba's a dear friend, and she's just precious, and the whole family.
And you know
are.
her daughter, you know
Yes.
the family, so
Yes.
it was so appropriate that you were able to go.
Well.
You know, the Bible says 2 are better than 1 because when one falls, there's none to lift him up.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, going into a difficult situation in ICU to anoint and pray for someone and to be with their loved one, you know, sometimes we feel so very inadequate.
Right.
And I was just thankful that you were there. You could give that big hug that I couldn't quite do.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there for the hands and feet of Christ in
Well,
that moment.
people wonder, well, I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to do. More than anything, just being present, just
Right.
being there.
Ministry of presence.
Presence, and that's what our focus is. We'll also go to First Broad Street, United
Yes.
Methodist, and that's what our focus was in the sermon yesterday, or this whole series, being present. And it just kind of fit into place there.
Yes,
I was,
you
very
put it
thankful.
into action.
I was very thankful to be where I was today and to be with my sweet friend Reba.
Reba. So Reba,
Yeah.
we're praying for you. Like we said, we're on Monday now. We don't know what will happen today or tomorrow or Wednesday. But for now, know that you are being held in our prayers, and your family, and Crystal and Jamie, and you, of course, and all of your loved ones. So we pray for Eddie,
Yeah.
that God's will be done with him. So anyway, we're just plodding along here, trying to get a head start on
Did you say
Monday.
anything about Bob's funeral tomorrow?
I did. Yeah, we did talk about that. And of course, when you're getting this on Wednesday, we've already gone through 2 funerals yesterday here at Shades of Grace. And you know, we were called on last week to do a funeral service here immediately after our worship service on Saturday. And I was so thankful that you and Lloyd were here,
And Eva.
and Miss
and-
Eva, and who else was here to help?
Oh, goodness.
Anyway,
Yeah.
because I was so exhausted after went through the morning service, and it was a beautiful service. But then to go through the funeral, and it was a beautiful family, gone through a very untimely death, a difficult situation. But weren't they a gracious family?
Yes, and it amazes me, Pastor Will did not know, you didn't know this person, really,
No,
did you?
never met him.
And how often he is called upon to do funerals for people that he doesn't even know, and I'm sure a lot of pastors are like that
Right.
also. Called upon to do an appropriate service for somebody that, and you always
Well,
seem to
Just
course,
follow
you-
the Spirit.
Right, and you talk to the family beforehand
Right.
a little bit and
Right.
kind of get a feel for what kind of person he was. And it was a beautiful service, and I didn't
There was a
know.
lot of tragedy involved in that situation, which I cannot and will not go into, but a lot of tragedy involved in that, and the family was hurting, but they were gracious and loving people.
Very sweet.
Yeah, so we
they,
thank you.
They hung around for quite a while after the service. Some of the family brought food.
Brought some food.
And they just fellowshipped, and I think they felt very
Most of them had
comfortable
never
here.
been to Shades of Grace, and we still aren't. Well, one of the cousins, or maybe an uncle to the young man, came over to me before the service, and he said, "Hey, Pastor Will, it's been a long time since I've been in here." And his name is Oscar Williams. Oscar Williams. I think his last name is Williams. And I honestly been so long since I'd seen him, I forgot his last name. But he used to come in here a lot years ago. But I just, so much water over the bridge.
Right.
But somehow he remembered Shades of Grace, and I'm not sure by whatever connections. We were able to be the hands and feet of Jesus for that family and host the space for them in that hour. So God always does what's right.
Right. And Saturday, we did have some first-time
Oh, yes.
attendees, and
Go ahead and
we
tell
did
us.
have a friend from the community that he's been gone for a long time, for several months, and we always had a connection with this young man. And he showed up
Yes.
Saturday. He looked great, and I chatted with him just for a few minutes, and he said it's been a journey. I asked him, if he was back. He said, "I'm back in town for a while," and he said,
right.
"It's been a journey, and I'm going to come by one day when we can sit and chat and let me share it with you." But it was good to see him back, and
Yeah.
I hope he does well. He's still living on the streets, but
Very kind and gracious
Oh,
man.
yes,
And we got a
yes.
good spirit.
oh yeah.
And when he comes to worship, he's really, he's into it. You can tell.
Yeah, and we had several from our community
Yes.
in this Saturday. And one in particular, he's a roamer. He'll come in and go out and,
Yeah.
this and that. But he stayed for the
whole service. Yes.
And he was comfortable.
First time in all the years that we've known him that he did that.
He sat over on the sofa in God's living room, and I think he felt safe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he always feels safe when he's here, but it's just a blessing when they do come for the worship service.
Well, when we first opened Shades of Grace over 10 years ago, several of the homeless people, unhoused is really the more politically correct word to use. Our unhoused friends came in, and several people said, they just started calling this God's living room. They said, "We feel like we're home when we're in here." And so, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's been 3 songs written about God's living room. And I've got one of them I wrote. I woke up about 2 or 3 in the morning one night out of a deep sleep, and the words were just coming to me, and I grabbed my phone and just started typing it in and fell back asleep, and by morning I'd forgotten what the words were. But I recorded that, and then a guy who, I guess Paul is still living in Texas. I hope Paul Peltotin, I believe. I can't enunciate his last name. But he was here for several years in the beginning and lived at Salvation Army. A great musician. He put music to that.
Oh, really?
He wrote the music, I wrote the words. And actually, Jimmy's got that somewhere. It's called God's Living Room. And then there have been a couple of more songs written. And that's why the little book that I wrote, Reflections from God's Living Room. And then we're doing another book. Hopefully it's going to be published and distributed by Easter. You got to pray about that. We just can't get the time to put it all together. But that's going to be called Legion, Friends from God's Living Room.
And Pastor Will, if you don't already know, he's a great writer and storyteller.
Well, I don't know
and,
about that.
His book, if you haven't read it yet, stop by and get a copy. He'll give you
Sure.
one.
Absolutely.
Reflections from God's Living Room, and it just sheds some light on how Shades of Grace came to be and what we deal with.
And just some of
on
the
a
things,
daily-
little snapshots of what happened
Right.
during the course of any specific day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And things haven't changed a whole lot. The only thing that changes is that it's constantly changing.
It's changing.
Yeah. So, if you haven't gotten a copy of that, you can download it as well under our Shades of Grace page, or you can get a copy. We don't sell them. They are for free. So, I was telling someone the biggest The biggest number of requests for that book have come from a certain church in our community. Would you want to guess which one? They have asked for more books than any other congregation, and I'm honored beyond imagination.
I'm not sure. Is it Pentecostal church?
No. St. Dominic's Catholic
Okay.
Church. We have had more requests for my book, Reflections from God's Living Room, from St. Dominic's. And they actually come in and pick up 3 and 4 copies and share them, and they've actually been sharing them, I think, in some classes, and just sharing them with their friends. And you know, they are great servants.
Yes.
They were here
Gonna say,
on, let's see, they were here this morning.
they were.
They were here this
we
morning.
have a couple of groups from
3
St.
groups.
Dominic's. that
3 different
come and
groups, yes.
Serve, and the ones here today, you know who you are.
Yeah.
And they come in, they bring everything they need to pack a bag
Yeah.
meal. They make the sandwiches. They stay at the door and they serve and they communicate
Yeah.
with the people that come up to the door, and
Yeah.
it's good getting to meet them and work with them. And we partner with lots of different organizations, and it's always amazing. I had a girl that I took exercise class
Oh, really?
with when I was going to exercise class. She came to the door a little while ago, and she had boxes and boxes of hand warmers that she had ordered, and
Wow.
wanted to know if we needed some. And
Sure.
I said, sure. And she said, well, what if I wanted to volunteer down here? And I said, well, we could sure put you to work.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of a, not protocol, but
Yeah, a little process
yeah,
that we go through.
But
And
and then I also heard people. This is an older Sunday school class. Most of them are retired, and they made the comment, you know, well, I worked hard all my life. I'm retired, and I'm going to enjoy myself.
Mm-hmm.
But we're always to serve. I
Right.
mean, if you
there's
want
no
to-
expiration date
Right,
on the surface.
Right. And you can put in as much time or as little as you want, but coming down here, it opened my eyes to a whole new
It's a
way
whole
of
new
looking.
world.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And
It changes you. I mean, you can't be here
That's-
and not be
that's
changed
true.
in some way. You know, today I heard someone say that we serve 99 meals.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of that old song that says the 90 and 9
Mm-hmm.
sheep, the good shepherd left the 99 in the fold and went
back.
looking. So, but we've had so many other people come to the door since then that one could have been any one of those,
could have,
making
yeah.
up the one.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
So let's see. We got. I heard that you've got some questions today.
I do. I
So
have some
how about
questions.
us do that? Jimmy's not here to run the time clock on us, so
All right. Are these from Canada?
these probably are from Charlotte in Canada.
Yeah. And Penny, her sister,
Kenny,
right?
yeah, sister-in-law.
Yeah, sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think about y'all often, and we
Yep.
see you go through on the comment section.
Oh yeah, and we're
of
talking about
Shades
how
of-
cold it is here, being 8 degrees, and I don't know if she put yesterday was like 14 below zero, with a high of 2 below.
Yeah.
So you know,
All right. Question number 1. This is who am I?
who am I?
Let me see which one. I used a rock for a pillow.
Oh,
Who am I?
that would be Brother Jacob.
It's correct.
Yeah, and what? Let me ask you this: what did he dream about while he had his head on a rock?
Oh man.
You got to know it. You're a Bible student.
What did he dream about?
Well, there's a song about it. The children sing.
He didn't see the wheel. That was his
No, it wasn't the wheel, but he said, "We are climbing."
Jacob's ladder.
There you go.
I should have known
Yeah,
that. Should have known that.
the ladder going into the heavens, and the angels ascending and descending
Mm-hmm.
on the ladder.
Also, Jacob, I'm probably not supposed to do this because
That's all
they'll
right.
ask these questions, but Dinah was his daughter.
Dinah.
Dinah,
Okay.
And-
Not to be confused with Dinah Shore
or Dinah Road.
or Dinah. Yeah. Okay.
And also, my name was changed to Israel because I struggled with God
Yes.
and with men and overcame.
Right.
Jacob.
And when he overcame, the only way he overcame, because he wrestled with the angel of God all night. And as the dawn was breaking, he said, I'm not going to turn you loose unless you bless me. He told the angel, I'm not turning you loose. And the angel smote him in his hip area, and he walked with a limp from that day on. Maybe that's what happened to me. Hey, I would like to, if that happened with the angel, please come back and remind me
Pastor
what I'm
Will's got
supposed to be doing.
a
I had a
hitch in
hitch in
his
my
giddy
giddy
up.
up go. Yeah.
Okay, question number 2. This is who am I?
Okay.
Tell us you look.
No, I'm not looking.
All right.
I promise.
Well, this you would know this. I'm going to give you another. My 2 daughters and I escaped God's judgment upon Sodom and Gomorrah. Who
Lot.
am I?
Lot.
Yeah, Lot. One of the clues was my wife was turned into a pillar of salt.
Right.
Okay. Question number 3. Who am I?
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, you'll know this. Quote, I saw the Lord seated on the throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Who am I?
That would have been Isaiah.
That's correct.
Isaiah.
All right, last question. This is what am I?
What am I?
And this is funny, you should. Okay, let's see here.
It's going to be a rock or a ladder.
David composed a psalm illustrating himself as one of these. What am I?
Shepherd?
Let me give you.
David?
Yep. Let me give you one more clue.
Go ahead.
The shepherd left 99 of these
Oh,
to
the
find
sheep.
the lost
Okay.
one.
Okay.
What am
All
I?
right.
The sheep. Yeah.
The sheep. Okay.
Yeah, those are good.
All right.
You knew more than I did.
Well, I don't know about that.
Anyway, you're the Bible scholar.
You know, did you say I'm what?
A Bible scholar.
The Bible scholar. You know what Ralph called me the other day? Godfather. You got to know Ralph. You got to love him. You got to know him to love him.
Ralph's,
Call me
he's
the
a fixture
Godfather.
here, and he's done.
Hi,
done
Brenda.
nice and well.
Talk to you later.
Have you ever noticed this thing looks like a little?
It looks just like a
robot
little.
or something?
Looks like a little man
Yeah.
standing there. With his legs, his arms up there,
And he's going,
Yeah. And he probably needs to. He knows we're coming. But yeah, I'm going to show you on. Doesn't that just look like a little person there? Look at it. Get a good look.
Yep. Jimmy
There we
probably
go.
say, leave the microphone.
That's what we have to look at.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jimmy. Yes. You in the house?
Somewhere.
Come on over here a minute. Lloyd, are you over there? Yeah. Terry?
He's helping somebody.
He's helping
Oh,
somebody.
here he is. Come on, Lloyd.
Come on, Lloyd. Is Terry still in here?
He is.
Where is he?
Terry, you're needed too.
Come on. Anybody else in here?
Everybody's leaving.
Everybody's leaving.
I
Okay.
didn't get that option.
We're going to do something here. Come on over, Terry. All right. We've got Jimmy, Lloyd, and Terry. And this again is Pastor Will and Rebecca with the world famous Will and
Jimmy Show.
All right, y'all did great. Y'all get a Grammy for that, or an Emmy, or a Tony, or I don't know. We just might make one up.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Good night. Good to see you,
Night.
Jimmy. It's
Good
all
night.
yours.
Good night.
Bye.